exploded as well. It cut the tire apart and completely shredded the tire, and this shredding of the tire at 180 miles an hour tore the left front fender and some of the suspension and chassis parts apart from the car. So they are trying to repair the car behind me, but you see what happens to the tire. Not much left. Not a problem with the Goodyear tire, merely a cut from debris here on the track in turn 9. Let's go up pit road to Dick Berggren. Dick?
Well, Jerry, virtually every race we've been doing this year, tires have been a story, a major story, and the big part of that story has been whether it's been Goodyear or Hoosier that's been fastest. But that's not the story here at all. It appears as if the tires are almost equal. If anything, Goodyear may have a slight edge. For sure, Goodyear is on more cars than anybody else's tires. So Goodyear has perhaps a better chance to do things. We've seen no blisters. We've seen no problems with wear at all. By the way, I'm in Terry Labonte's pit. Just before we started this little piece, went over to his crew chief and I said, you guys are drifting back. What's the problem? Tim Brewer just looked at me in a discouraged way and said very simply, we're getting beat.
Yeah, I think it's more of guys moving up than Terry Labonte moving back. In any case, Bobby Hillin Jr. has gotten off course and made some spins throughout the dust, but now is back out on the racetrack. Bobby Hillin Jr. in car number 8. There's the leader, Rusty Wallace, car number 27.
Well, that car is working well. He's staying about 8 seconds ahead of Ricky Rudd.
And as we told you earlier, these cars will need at least one more pit stop before the end of the race, and that could be a very crucial pit stop if we stay green the rest of the way.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see what they would do, Bob. Most of them, I suspect, would take on left side tires and, of course, fill them up with gasoline. Now, this is one racetrack that you do not want to stretch your fuel mileage, because if you run out of gas anywhere other than coming off of turn 9, you're in deep trouble. You
are in deep trouble indeed. Now, if the race were to end right now with Rusty Wallace in the lead, Dale Earnhardt is in 16th position. Wallace would take over the Winston Cup points lead. That's if the race were to end right now, but we've still got several more laps to go before this one is over. Can Rusty Wallace continue his lead? We'll be back with more of our live coverage right after this. Here are the top 10 at the end of 67 laps. Rusty Wallace leads, Ricky Rudd second, Terry Labonte third, Sterling Marlin fourth, fifth is Kyle Petty. In sixth, Neil Bonnet, seventh, Phil Parsons, eighth is Richard Petty, ninth is Benny Parsons, and 10th is Dale Jarrett. Just a few minutes ago, as we watch Rusty Wallace negotiate this track, he now has about a 9.5-second lead on Ricky Rudd. A few minutes ago, we had another off-course excursion, this one by Bobby Hillin Jr.
Bobby going through the S's. It looks like he just got a little hard in there. The right rear tire got off on the dirt, and around he went in front of the car number 63 of Jocko Majacomo. And boy, he did a good job of maneuvering around Bobby Hillin. As Bobby comes back across the track, gets on the dirt, he'll finally get it straightened out and get back out on the race course and get going again.
Nice job by Jocko Majacomo in missing that spinning Bobby Hillin car. Rusty Wallace, the Kodiak Pontiac, leading this Budweiser 400. And we go inside the Superflow Motor Oil sponsored car, now being driven by Elliott Forbes Robinson, started by Rick Hendrick, the owner of the car.
Of course, Elliott Forbes Robinson is another very good road racer. He's won a lot of road races in various types of competition.
He looked to be sliding around corner number 8 up there. There he is. His position is 21st on the field.
He just went a lap down not too long ago. He made an unscheduled pit stop. And here is Terry Labonte moving around Chad Little. We saw Ricky Rudd pass him there just a moment ago. Rudd hasn't been able to move too far away from Terry Labonte once he got around him.
You're absolutely right, Ned. That's one of the things that has surprised me here in the last few laps. I thought that when Rudd passed Terry Labonte, he would just pull away. But as you can see, they're separated by only actually just a few car lengths.
Not too much. And they'll be making pit stops in the next 8 or 10 laps. In fact, right now, Sterling Marlin is coming into the pits in the car number 44. He was running in the 4th position. We'll see what they do to that car. This should be his last pit stop of the day. Jake Elder, the crew chief on the Piedmont Airlines Oldsmobile, and they are going to the left side. I sort of suspected that they would change left side tires. They'll look at the right side tires. They'll fill it up with Unical gasoline. be sure to get enough in it to go the rest of the way. And that's what they're waiting on now, is just to get the rest of the gas in. No, they're going around. They're going to change all 4 tires on that car. That's a little surprising.
So Sterling is going to be set up here for the rest of the race with 4 new tires and a complete load of fuel. Still working on the right side, getting the rubber on it. Now he's away, and Sterling is among the first of those running up front to come in for a final pit stop. And we now move inside Dale Jarrett's car, the Hardee's Oldsmobile.
He's running behind Lake Speed. Lake is a couple of laps down as a result of some problems earlier when he was in the garage area. Dale now up in the 9th position after Sterling Marlin made his pit stop.
That right there is not considered a turn here. It's not numbered as such, but it certainly gives the drivers something to look for as they set up for turn number 9.
And you can see one of the cars get down on the dirt as he went into the turn. That would have been Benny Parsons in car number 90 as Benny is trying to move around the car number 12 of Bobby Allison. And Allison a couple laps down.
Benny's doing a fine job. There you can see Dale passing Davey Allison, who has not been competitive since having an encounter earlier. Look how close Mark Martin comes to the rear end of Dale Jarrett's car.
Boy, he just moved up on him in a hurry. Dale had to back off when he ran up on Davey Allison. There was a couple of cars there that was almost blocking the track. They got out of the way, but Mark just moved right up on his back bumper in a hurry. They've been having a pretty good battle. Mark ran in front of Dale for a while, and Dale got around him. Now Mark's trying to get back around him, but Jarrett just closed the door on him.
Boy, I think they hit. But anyway, Dale holds him off for the moment. Mark Martin drops back just a little bit. Now he'll close the gap as they head for turn number 8. That's where Dale Jarrett is right now. And look at Martin get the rear end of that car out a little bit. Now they'll come off corner number 8 and head down the long backstretch.
Well, Jarrett gained quite a bit of time in there when they had that little encounter. I guess Martin had to back off for a little bit. Now he's coming up on the back bumper of Bobby Allison and moving on the inside of him as they go down the backstretch.
So Dale Jarrett having a good run. So are several others that are showing up in the top 10, including Benny Parsons, who is in 8th position. Richard Petty shown in 7th at the moment. A nice run for him. And Mark Martin is in 6th place. And certainly we can't forget about Neil Bonnet, who qualified well and is in 4th position. Neil Bonnet is 4th on the field.
He has run a good hard race all day long.
Jarrett moving through the gears.
Now, he's one of the drivers that's not changing gears as many times, Bob. He's only changing 7 times a lap. He does not have one of the transmissions that go down into first gear. About a half a dozen of the cars have a transmission, so the gearing is that they go into first gear off of turn 6. That gives them a little better jump as they come off of that turn. Rusty Wallace is one of those drivers that does have that transmission in the car.
We're anticipating a pit stop by Rusty Wallace here. He has radioed the crew that he is ready to make his final pit stop, and indeed, here he comes moving through that chicane that we talked about earlier, and Dr. Jerry Punch is there to call Rusty Wallace's pit stop.
Final scheduled stop for the Kodiak Pontiac, and Harold Elliott will bring that car to a halt. Barry Dodson, Jimmy Maycar, and the crew are going to work on the left side of the car. Now they will put 4 tires on the car, 4 fresh Goodyear tires. They last pitted on lap 50. We are showing lap 74 right now. They can go the rest of the way on fuel. The crew rushing around to the right side. Dodson has the jack beneath the car. Jimmy Maycar takes the right front tire off. They roll a fresh tire.